everybody. It is Thursday, the 25th of May. It is The Gut Doctor. My name is Nick Thompson. I'm really happy to welcome you to the show this evening. It's a beautiful day, and I really want to get out in the fields with the dogs. So I'm going to steal half an hour of your time, if I may, to tell you about the new organic toppers range that Verm-X have produced. This is basically the culmination of over a year's work on behalf of the team at Verm-X. I've been formulating and they've been making it all happen. Rosie and the gang have produced some fantastic packaging. It really looks brilliant. So well done you, Rosie, there. We're going to be talking about the first one. We're going to be talking about Senior Blend. And it's for obviously reasons, it's for our oldies. We've got Calming Blend in a lovely kind of lilac blue. We have got the Joint Support Blend in a kind of vibrant green, healing green. And we've got the Active and Working Blend here. So I'm going to go through those in that order so that you can see. It was my idea to do this. They Verm-X, and thank you to them for allowing us to making this stuff possible. It was my idea because I'm really proud of this range of products that we've got here. Okay, they didn't say, Nick, you've got to talk about our lovely products. No, they didn't. I said I really want to shout about this because I'm really proud of them. So they have said, however, if you want to try some of these products, if you go to their website, Verm-X.com, Verm-X.com, and if you use the code when you go into the you go to the basket and process your order, if you put in the code holistic15, HOLISTICVET 15, holistic 15, you'll get 15% off. How about that? There you go. Our next show, guys, is Thursday the 15th of June, just to let you know there. And now we're going to jump into our fabulous, exciting, lovely herbal products. I've got all my notes on the screen here, so I'm just going to jump over here like this. And Rosie said she would have a look at and make sure that you can see what I'm doing and not necessarily at my notes, although you're welcome to look at my notes. If you want to follow what I'm doing, if you do go to the website, the Verm-X.com website, you will be able to see, follow your nose, you'll be able to find these products and you'll be able to see the list of the ingredients. They're really transparent with what they're putting into these things. So first of all, let's talk about the Senior Blend. This is the Senior Blend in a lovely kind of mustardy sort of color. Okay, so a mix of herbs. We've got ashwagandha, we've got ginkgo, we've got echinacea, we've got turmeric, we've got astragalus, we've got willow bark, we've got linseed, we've got dandelion root, rosemary, and Siberian ginseng, which is Eleutherococcus centicosus, which has to be one of the most wonderful word combinations that has ever been produced. I'm just gonna go, yep, and it looks like Rosie's happy, so that's really good. Well done, thanks, Rosie. So let's go through those. These are really interesting. So we've got ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is called withania, and it is from the Ayurvedic tradition, and it is part of the adaptogens. The adaptogen herbs and the Eleutherococcus is also an adaptogen, and arguably astragalus as well. This group of herbs, the adaptogens, the most common one that you would know is the Eleutherococcus, which is the Siberian ginseng, which is what those of you of a similar age to me will remember the Soyuz spacecraft and the Mir spacecraft that the Soviets used And what they used to do is they would put their cosmonauts up in space for months on end. And you can imagine being in space. Okay, you're weightless, but the stress and kind of poor sleeping, getting used to sleeping in weightlessness and what have you, it's a very stressful environment. And also you've got to be really sharp and be able to maintain your physical and your mental condition while you're in such strange and demanding circumstances. So the first of these herbs, the Eleutherococcus, the adaptogens, because it allows you to adapt to stress. Okay, so we'll talk about Eleutherococcus in a second. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, but it's one of the few which has a calming effect. It's called Withania somnifera. Okay, we'll talk about it again. It's one of my favorite herbs. So it has this strengthening effect because it's an adaptogen. It has an anti-stress effect, and it is one of the few adaptogens. Yeah, because adaptogens are normally about strength and focus and what have you, but the ashwagandha is a herb which is kind of it's a calming but strengthening at the same time. So I just thought it would be great in the old the senior mix. We've got ginkgo in there. Ginkgo is, as you might know, ginkgo biloba. It's very good for stimulating, he says, pointing to his head, stimulating the blood supply, especially to the brain. We've got another wonderful herb called xanthoxylum, prickly pear, and that is for generalized improvement of circulation, and ginkgo also has systemic circulation enhancement, but also especially to the brain. So for where everybody gets a little bit confused in their old age, everybody gets a little bit sluggish in their old age perhaps, and so blood supply are really important. There's echinacea. Now, obviously, echinacea is great for your immune system, but actually what we've found over the years is that echinacea is a really good kind of pick-me-up for old dogs as well. It's got lots and lots of applications. It's for upper respiratory immunity and what have you. So wonderful to have that one in there. Turmeric's very trendy these days. However, we couldn't not put it in because it's such a powerful anti-cancer. 50% of dogs over the age of 10, these are the official figures, okay, the Kennel Club and everybody will recognize these, 50% of dogs are getting cancer these days, which is absolutely horrific statistic. And so we thought turmeric, it's a wonderful antioxidant, but also it's got a very powerful anti-cancer capabilities as well. So that's an absolute must. A wonderful thing to have there. We've got astragalus milk vetch, which is stimulates T cell activity. It's for immune system. But astragalus, when I was learning my herbs many years ago, I would think of astragalus, struggling. So where you have older dogs who are struggling, who need a little bit of help, then the astragalus is just a gentle. It's not a stimulatory strengthener. It's more of a come on, let's make it to the end of the race type support. Willow bark is wonderful because it has salicylates in it. We talked about salicylates on Tuesday. I did the Raw Pet Medics show on Tuesday and told you about this show today. And white willow, Salix alba, which is where you get salicylate from, Salix salicylate. And so we put that in because it's a very powerful anti-inflammatory, and it doesn't provoke gastric ulceration. Okay, if you take too many aspirin, sort of 3 days worth of aspirin, perhaps you might provoke ulceration of the gut, and we don't see that with willow because there are other elements within the herb which negate that. They call it ulcerogenic effect. It's stimulating ulcers. There's brown linseed in there, which is really lovely. Okay, because we will have CBD elements, cannabinoids in there, omega-3s are in there, but also having linseed in there, it's a very good prebiotic. Yeah, your bugs love to have these grain particles to stimulate them, and it's well recognized that as you age, your microbiome declines. I'm saying yours, I mean your dog, your older dog declines. So the linseed is there to help to enhance that. Good old dandelion. I've got loads in my garden. I used to worry about it. I don't. I embrace. I embrace my dandelions these days. Dandelion root is a very powerful liver and kidney protectant. It's very well suited for the UK especially, but you know it's good for everybody in that respect. We often use milk thistle and dandelion in combination because as you get older, especially if you're taking any pharmaceuticals, then you need to look after liver and kidney function. We've got rosemary in there, which is a really lovely antioxidant, and that's a antioxidant for the body, because aging is essentially an oxidizing process. And then finally, we've got the Siberian ginseng. Okay, that's the one that the cosmonauts took into space in the 60s and 70s to keep them going. Okay, so as a whole, it's all about gentle support, gentle strength, supporting immune system, supporting anti-cancer activity, anti-inflammatory effects, and we're really pleased with that one. Next, let's have a look. Next, we have got the calming blend. Now, this is great. I love this. Okay, so this is our calming blend, and in it we have passiflora, chamomile, valerian, ashwagandha, withania, again, fennel, lemon balm, wild hops, lime flower, lavender, and licorice. Okay, absolutely brilliant. So passiflora is a well recognized calming herb. It's used in numerous combinations, but we've put a really significant quantity in here in order to have that really gentle, supporting and yet sedating effect. Chamomile tea is what you have before you go to bed. It's great for your gut, and it's very gentle, calming, healing. Okay, and so it's a nice herb to use when we're looking for this gentle calming effect. Valerian has been used for thousands of years. Culpeper talked about it. It's often used valerian and skullcap, but we've just used valerian here. Valerian's funny, actually. It's a very powerful flavor, smell, and some people can smell kind of perfume notes. That's me. Okay, that's why I love it so much. But some people, when they smell it, can smell what they call fecal notes. Okay, so it's the same herb, but depending on your nose, you either smell perfume or you smell these fecal notes. Regardless, dogs tolerate it very well, and it's a well-known calmer. Works beautifully with the passiflora. We've got the withania somnifera. Remember, this is our adaptogen, which has this calming effect. So you've got the support and you've got the calming coming together. So it couldn't be without that. Fennel is fantastic. It's very antioxidant. It has antidepressive elements and is good for digestion. Okay, just to make sure that we've got a calm and functional digestion, prebiotic effects there. We've got lemon balm, melissa, which is again, it's a lovely, simple, calming herb. We've got wild hops. Wild hops have been used for years for their calming effects. In the old days, they would put hops into a pillow to help you with your sleep, similar to lavender, which is another element within there. Then we've got lime flower. Lime flower in human herbal medicine is used for seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's calming and kind of antidepressant effect, if you like. It's good for you for the heart and cardiovascular system. And then to top it off, we've put a little bit of licorice. Now, licorice, the Chinese love putting licorice into their formulae, and it was described to me that the Chinese say having a licorice in a formula is like having your grandfather at a wedding. It stops everybody fighting. Okay, so it allows all these herbs to work together more synchronously. Okay, so that's why we put the licorice in there. It also helps with cortisol metabolism, which should just help with stress. When you get stressed, your cortisol is raised, and it helps as a balancer there. So that's our calming blend. Hope you like it. It's great. I love it. Very good. Okay, so we've got our joint support blend. This is interesting. I'm going to take you through this now. There we go. So joint support. This is organic, by the way. Okay, I think it's really important. Anybody who's followed RPM or followed the Gut Doctor knows that I'm a very big advocate for regenerative agriculture. As far as I can see, it is the thing, it is the phenomenon which is going to stop us starving, because we are destroying soil all around the globe at the rate of knots. Modern industrial agriculture is causing a lot of damage to the soil, and once your soil has gone, it's gone. And when you haven't got any soil, you can't grow anything, let alone all those effects of the non-organic food producers using a lot of pesticides and what have you, destroying the insect and bee populations. Okay, so we've got to look after this planet, and I think as part of that, I think organic wherever possible. Within this formula, the joint formula, we've got turmeric, we've got chia seed, we've got ashwagandha again, we've got ginkgo, we've got linseed, we've got hemp seed, gotu kola, Centella asiatica, that is. I'll tell you about that in a second. We put a little bit of ginger in there as well, and we have put some black pepper in there. Those are really interesting elements. Okay, you find them, ginger and black pepper, you find them in the kitchen. You think, oh yeah, ginger, oh yeah, black pepper, whatever. But actually, I'm going to tell you about those in a second. We'll go from the top of the list. Turmeric, as I say, antioxidant and a powerful anti-cancer remedy. In this context, it is the anti-inflammatory effects that we're really looking for. Okay, turmeric, big anti-inflammatory. There are some human preparations where they've taken curcumin and kind of turbocharged the curcumin, and it's taken as a treatment, a nutraceutical, as a arthritic anti-inflammatory. So we thought, got to have the turmeric, even though it's really trendy, and we don't want to just follow everybody else using turmeric, but it's just such an important remedy. We put chia seeds in there, and they are as a kind of, in the background, we've got a really good mineral supplementation. If the dog's not eating particularly great food, the chia seeds are going to be fantastic, supplying calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. It's a very good prebiotic as well. Prebiotic being feeding the bugs. Okay, we've got our friend ashwagandha, Withania somnifera in there, which is calming and yet nurturing, supporting. Okay, you know that one now. We've got ginkgo. Now, ginkgo is because of the effect of there's a strong phenomenon in herbal medicine, thinking, okay, if you overuse joints, they will wear out. Okay, everybody knows that. But there is one line of thought which says that there is work to suggest that if the blood flow to the joints is compromised, that then has a degrading negative effect on the quality of the cartilage. And once your cartilage goes, it's much more susceptible to wear and tear. Okay, so I thought it's really important that we really maintain blood flow to those joints. So that's the ginkgo in there. Super safe. All these recipes, by the way, all the herbs are selected so that overdose is virtually impossible. Okay, we've got brown linseed in there as omega-3. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. Omega-6 is pro-inflammatory. For health, you need both, but you need them in more or less the same level. So we put the linseed in there in order to boost our omega-3s. We've got hemp seed, cannabinoids. It's all the rage now. I think it's really important. We're putting it in as hemp seed. So we've got a prebiotic effect. We've got a cannabinoid effect, broad spectrum cannabinoid effect. Really happy with that. Gotu kola is the common name for Centella asiatica, which is another one of our adaptogens, but also has this kind of side job of helping with formation and healing of collagen and bones and the cartilage within the collagen within cartilage and connective tissue. Okay, so specifically Centella asiatica is all about trying to keep those joints strong. Now, ginger and black pepper, they're put in at low levels, but they're put in there because they are known. I read some papers a few years ago. I wasn't taught it when I was taught herbal medicine. They are actually what they call a bioenhancer, in that a formula, its impact, its beneficial impact on the body will be enhanced by ginger and black pepper. That's why we put black pepper into golden paste, for example. It's a bioenhancer. Okay, so that's why they're there. Absolutely brilliant. Ginger will help the circulation as well. So this is all just fabulous. I love it. I'm not wishing that my dogs were lame, but if they were, then I would be using this in a really big way. Okay, finally, we're going to have a look at our active and working dog blend. There it is. It's kind of a big, strong, orangey color. Okay, I hope you can see that. I can't see what you're seeing. Okay, in this formulation, so as we say, it's for the working dog. It doesn't even need to be working. It doesn't need to be a working Springer Spaniel. If you've just got a really busy dog and they need a boost, for anything, whether they're agility or even if they're just a house dog and they're really busy, and or maybe you go out and you do lots of walking, then this might be a really nice one for you. Ingredients within the formulation: echinacea, ashwagandha, gotu kola. You're seeing some of we've discussed these already. We've got elderberry in there. We've got milk thistle. We've got andrographis, which is really interesting. I'll talk to you about andrographis in a second. We've got reishi mushroom, and we have got licorice and ginger are bioenhancers. Okay, so let's have a look. So as you see, this is all about optimizing body function. So echinacea, remember we said in the oldies it gives you a lift. It also does that in the younger dog. It's more obvious in the older ones. Okay, so that's to put a spring in your step. The ashwagandha, strengthening and allowing focus through not being overstimulated. Okay, so deliberately we want that agility dog to listen. We want that working Springer, working lab, working dog to not be just just stimulated, over stimulated. We've got our Centella asiatica for joint strength, but also for brain, enhancing brain function, nerve performance, and wound healing. Okay, because these busy dogs, especially if they're shooting working dogs, they're going to get injuries and cuts and what have you. So gotu kola is a great healer. Elderberry, massive antioxidant hit, really important, good for upper respiratory immunity. Contains lots of iodine and iron, and very strong antioxidant there. Tastes great, and so that's a lovely addition. Again, we're just trying to kindle the very best optimal body function, if you like. Milk thistle, for obvious reasons, because we're going to be supporting liver. Not only liver and kidney. Yeah, remember we said about dandelion. This is similar. Milk thistle. Everybody knows about the liver side of things, but also it's going to help look after your kidneys. Andrographis, the king of bitters. It's really, really lovely. It's the Chinese would describe it as cooling, and it helps with bile production, and we are putting that in there for optimizing liver health. Bitter is not, in the West, it's not a flavor that we really use in our cooking and what have you. It's gone out of fashion. 100 years ago, there were a lot of bitters around, but now not so much so. So if your dog is unfamiliar with bitterness, the thing to do is don't be put off. Just start with a small amount. Start with perhaps 1/10 of the dose, and then get them used to it gradually, because the beneficial effect on liver function, it really is absolutely fantastic. So last one, apart from the licorice and ginger, which we've discussed as bioenhancers, the reishi we've got is good for everything. It's one of those herbs where it's difficult to say what it doesn't help. But we're helping immune system. It's a stress. It helps with stress and helps to sleep, because obviously if you're a hyperactive working dog, you've got to have fantastic sleep characteristics as well, and it helps with combating fatigue. So there you go. That's an introduction to those four. If you want to get hold of some, then talk to Cheryl and her team at Verm-X. There is the sort of holistic 15 is the code if you want 15% off. Yes, thank you very much. We're coming back here Thursday the 15th of June. I'm just going to have a look at a few. If you've got any questions, guys, I think what we'll do is I'm going to take no, I was trying to take the gut doctor away, but I don't think I can do it. Bear with me. No, don't worry. Okay, so Rosie says, I just realized we're pronouncing astragalus wrong. I don't think it's kind of tomato, Rosie. I won't hold it against you. Astragalus. I just like saying astragalus. Astragalus. So I think some people say astragalus, and you know what? I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. But nice to say. Thank you. Made me smile. Jane is there, great, and Lynn is there. Let's have a look. So this person, dear Druid, says Verm-X Herbal is not natural. Well, if organic herbs are not natural, I don't know what is. Glyphosate? Don't know. You're very welcome. The Cruid Kracht. You are very welcome to email me and we can discuss how natural things are. Let's have a look. Jane says, good on Ash, isn't she great? She's down in Wales. They had fresh dandelion leaves this morning. Beautiful. They're good in salad as well. It's a little bit bitter. You know the sap, the latex that you get from dandelion. If you remember as a kid, you'd make little kind of flutes, pipes, toot pipes from that, and you get a bit of sap on there. It's super bitter. Very good for you. Very good for you. Siberian better than Korean. Actually, it's not as powerful as Korean, but the most Western herbalists will use Korean ginseng quite carefully because it's quite so pokey. It's also twice the price of the Siberian stuff, which is not cheap. But we went for we were trying to make the formulations as safe as possible, as broad spectrum as possible. So we went for Siberian because we didn't want to blow anybody's brains out. Let's have a look. Okay. Lynn Hobbs says, my dogs need calming. So there you go. Give it a go. Let me know how you get there. Victoria Penfold says, I don't like the smell. I presume she means of valerian, not this show. Let me know, Victoria. Okay, there we go. What? Okay, so Ellie says, so we'll make this the last question. Ellie says, what age do we start using joint support? What I do is I tend to put all my dogs onto marine oils and flax oil through their life, so that will help with joint support. Hopefully they're raw fed, and therefore they're going to be getting lots of cartilage in the front door, and that's going to be helpful for beneficial. It's going to be a raw food diet is very antioxidant, so that's also going to be beneficial. So I think, simply speaking, as soon as you see the first signs of creakiness, just kind of slowing down, not jumping into the car quite as well, that's when I would come in with the joint support. You can start it early if you want, kind of halfway through the lifespan. If you've got a small dog, they're probably going to make it to 16, 18 or so. If you've got a big dog, Dane or something like that, then you'd be lucky if they see 10. Bless them, great dogs. And therefore you'd be thinking of starting that about kind of 5-ish, whereas with the smaller dogs maybe a little bit later on. But if in doubt, give Verm-X a shout. Cheryl will help you with that, and if she can't, then she'll pass the query over to me. If there's a specific query you have. Okay. La, 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 la. Okay, where we are. Lots of nice comments there. Brilliant. Caroline says, explain please. I'm not sure what that refers to because I couldn't see your screen when I was on my notes, unfortunately. Can't. Okay. Oh, if you have to use, so let's say you've got a bit of a hyperactive older dog and you're thinking, crumbs, which one do I use, the senior or the calming? I think the best way to do that would be a week on one and then a week on the other, and a week on one and a week on the other. If the dog is beautifully calm when you're on the calming herbs and not when you're on the senior herbs, you could go 50-50. You could go 50-50 mix. That's okay. But normally, I would say, do them strategically as opposed to combining them. Okay, so I said it was going to be the last question, but here we go. This is the last question. It's Biggie from Jenny Hughes. It's normal, Nick. I now need more for my potions covered. Would you offer them separately? Oh, right. Well, we've done that one. Yep, they can choose if they want to choose. Then that's great. That's the whole zoopharmacognosy. The queen of zoopharmacognosy in the UK, probably in the world, is Caroline Ingraham, who just lives up the road from me here, and so that's good. Caroline Chipsey, do they conflict with kidney disease? No, they don't conflict with kidney disease. So there you go. I've stolen 36 minutes of your life, and I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. We're going to be back Thursday, the 15th of June. Do have a look. Make the most of the 15%. Yeah, 15% is 15%. So enjoy those. If you have any queries, talk to Verm-X. If there's anything really specific, then I'm happy to chat with you as well. And I'm going to go, guys. I'm going to go and take the dogs out, and because it's such a beautiful day, I'm here in my office. I've got the blinds closed, and it's quite dingy in here. Therefore, it looks quite bright on the screen, but it feels quite dingy. I'm going to pop the blind up and walk out into the evening sunshine. I hope you can do something similar. Take care, guys. See you on the 15th of June, and we'll have some more fun with herbs and health. This is the Gut Doctor, signing out. See you later. Thank you.